This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
What's going on, Mike? What's going on, man? Computer problems. You're out here leaving me hanging. I was gonna go on the show myself tonight.
Sorry, just couldn't get the computer to turn on. Then when I got it to turn on, it had to do a critical update. So I couldn't touch anything, and I wasn't prepared for that. And yeah.
So what's happening, man? What have you been up to? What's good? We didn't go on last weekend.
We didn't.
Out.
We didn't go on last week. No show last week.
No show.
I was away last week anyway. Now I probably could have done a show. You were away as well, right? You were busy as well. So, but I was on a soccer trip to Syracuse on Saturday of last week and Rochester, New York on Sunday of last week. Stayed in Waterloo, New York Saturday night. Interesting place. Happened to have a casino there. I forget the name of the casino. If people give me a few minutes, I could probably find it. But hit the casino in Del Lago Casino and Resort. There was a sign in the place that said, "No person will possess any firearm within this facility." I never have a great feeling when I see those signs in a place, particularly a casino. But I went to play some cards. Unexpectedly came up on a casino, so I hit it up to go play some poker. And but I'll be honest, things are not great in my world right now. I have an injured soccer player in my household, so yeah, there's not a lot of thrill or happiness going on in my world, in my household right now. So, things are a little bit tough, but
she good or what's
no fractured wrist.
Oh, she's not.
Yeah, fractured wrist in a game a few weeks back. I think the last time we did a show, actually, I had mentioned that she had gotten injured that day, and yeah, it turns out the next day we went and found out she had a fractured wrist. So, but then I'm going to sound like a crazy sports parent. I shouldn't even say this on here, but
Can you play with a fractured wrist?
Well, okay, so we were expecting the orthopedic doctor to cast it, right? Put a cast on it. And if you put a cast on it, as long as it was below the elbow, she'd be able to play. They have like a special thing you have to wear around your cast for you to play. Doctor comes in, tells my wife, no cast. We're just going to put a brace on it. But she's out for 4 weeks. Wife calls me. I say to the wife, listen, don't you think you should go back in there and tell the doctor, hey, like, we prefer that you put her in a cast so that she could play? And the wife was like, yeah, I agree with you. So she went back in, asked the doctor. Doctor was like, no, not going to do it. So, yeah, we're kind of in limbo right now. And, yeah, it's tough. So
how's she taking it?
Terribly, because her middle school season is also basically over. And yeah, it's just the Friday before she got injured. This is a whole nother story, but I'll give it to you if you want. If people don't mind hearing about,
I don't really want to hear it,
sport nonsense. But I'm sure you know what. It's funny though, because I know there's people out there that listen to this podcast that deal with these same things, and I'm sure it can relate to some of the stuff that I say and go through. But so. My daughter originally wanted to play middle school soccer. That was the reason she was giving up dance, was to play middle school soccer, right? So then other people who knew more about these things than me came to me and said, hey, middle school soccer really isn't that serious. Like, if she's going to give up dance to do soccer, you should take her to try out for these higher level teams, okay? Because that would be a better place for her to be. It's way more important than the middle school soccer, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay. So I take her to try out for these higher level teams. She makes one of these higher level teams. That started in August. We find out when the practices are and all that. Then she tries out for the middle school team in September, okay? She makes that. She finds out after making the middle school team that she has some conflicts where she's going to have to leave practice early some days. She's not going to be able to make some games for the middle school or whatever because of this higher level club that she's playing for. Okay, now I want to state that one of the people who told me to take her to the higher level club and play for the higher level club is one of the high school coaches. Okay, so it's literally one of the coaches in the program that she's playing in who's telling me, take her to this higher level club to go play there. This is what she needs to do to develop as a player, right? But then the middle school coach puts her in the doghouse because she had to miss these practices and games. And like it got off to a real bad start where I had to, have a phone call with the coach and meeting with the coach and talk about her schedule and all this. And I explained all this to the coach, but it didn't really matter to her. My daughter was still in the doghouse. So for the first couple games, my daughter didn't get much playing time at all, barely, like no playing time. And what she did, because I told her to, and to be a good teammate, is she served as a ball girl for the team. Okay, so like she ran up and down the sideline, throwing the ball in whenever they needed or whatever. So fast forward to a couple Fridays ago, and the coach decides to put my daughter in. It just so happens that we're playing the team from the school that I work in. Okay, so it's a Friday afternoon. My daughter's team is playing the girls' soccer team at the school that I am a teacher at. So I show up to work, and of course, some of my students are on this team or whatever. She puts my daughter in the game. Within 8 minutes, my daughter scores 2 goals. Okay, totally takes the game over, dominates the game. Like Rob will tell you, it was like everybody was standing still. She's just dribbling around. Everybody puts the ball in the back of the net. They bring the ball back to center. They kick it back to her. She dribbles through everybody. She puts the ball in the back of the net. It was like the easiest thing ever. I was like, wow, this is crazy. People were coming up to my wife like, yo, is that your daughter? Is that your daughter? Wow, she's good, man. Oh, my God, who's she play for? She gets hurt that following Sunday. So, yeah, club season on pause. Middle school season pretty much over. So I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a little banged up about it, but I'm a little upset about it. But listen, you can only control the things you can control, right? That's kind of where I'm at. So, if any of you out there know what I'm going, I know some of you do, because some of you have reached out to me with emails and everything, and text about your experience in youth sports and stuff. But yeah, it's tough. It's not always easy. But let's go with you, man. Anything? I'm gonna stop with my downtrodden youth sports stories. Let's go with you. Give us something positive, will you?
I was gonna go nothing positive, but I'll give you something though. I'm on the coldest betting streak that I've ever been on. Like this fall season of football since it started, it's been the coldest like I've ever been. Like I am not winning anything. It got to the point where because my friends were in town for a weekend, they put my face and they photoshopped it on the mush from Bronx Tale. Because whatever I touched. So I've done betting until probably the bowling season. Like maybe the Super Bowl is probably when I might like start like putting bets in again, because it's been just a real cold like ride for me this fall. So I think the only thing I won was the Alabama backdoor cover last weekend. If anybody knows about how they backdoor covered, and I shouldn't have won that bet, and that was the only one I won. So yeah, it's been a real terrible football season. There's a few people in the chat mentioning the Jets. I mean, this could be the worst team ever put on the field in the history of the NFL. They could realistically be 0-17, and I'm not even kidding. When you have the worst offense and the worst defense in the league, it doesn't tend to make for wins. So yeah, at this point, I think the fan base just going through the motions, but there's so much the fans can take year after year after year of just being really bad. So I boycotted the team, meaning like I won't buy or spend any money until they put a product on the field. I'll still watch the games because I don't feel like that's but that's really only the consumers can do when your team is losing is not spend money. and try to hit the owners in the pocket so the owners can get their either sell the team or get their stuff together. So other than that, bowling wise, dude, I mean, physically I feel good. I just don't want to go bowl, man. I have zero motivation to go throw a bowling ball right now. But I will go to practice here the next few weeks. I have to go for at least bowl 3 games. The Agent Ong Open is this coming weekend. So a reminder, this Wednesday we'll actually be on air, special time and date, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I know it's a little bit late for Mike. I will be live from a restaurant this time around. We're not going to be at Carl's house sitting by poolside, which I'm kind of a little bit upset about.
That was a nice pool.
It was a nice pool, nice backyard. It was a nice event. But I will be at a restaurant. There will be some well-known pros at the dinner. I expect to have them on. Specifically, I know Kyle Troop will be in town. I think, he's bowling Matt Jones on Thursday night. So we'll have both them on the air Wednesday to talk about their match. I think they're bowling for about $5,000, I think, in a winner-take-all best, maybe 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. Well, we'll talk to them. So, yeah, so we'll be on Wednesday. I'm assuming we won't be on the next Sunday, obviously, because we'll be on Wednesday. So it'll be a special type of show. We probably won't do a lot of our normal stuff. We probably won't be doing like worst of the week or league review or anything like that. So we'll just get into the tournament. I'll talk to some people. I did see someone, Frank, in the mention Daria. Daria, yes, was supposed to be at Agent Ong this coming weekend. But yeah, she had some kind of fluke accident, Mike, where she fell off like a scooter or a moped and broke both her elbows, which is, for a bowling injury, I mean, I don't think that could be worse. Like, I can't imagine breaking your elbow. Like, and when it comes to a bowling career and like bowling, I wish her the best. And I was looking forward to like speaking to her again at the Agent Ong and maybe getting her on for a little bit if she was going to be at the dinner or whatnot. But crazy. So yeah. Anyway, so just reminder this Wednesday, Mike.
I can't even comment on that story until there's more details on that story.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just calling it a fluke accident.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah.
About
yeah, at this point, I'm just calling it a fluke accident. And just kind of know what like what the facts were.
In terms of the betting, Rob, I got some advice for you, bro. Hit your boy up.
Yeah, you're hot right now?
Yeah, but your boy's been free rolling all season.
Oh,
I hit 2 early parlays in the first couple weeks. One was a 4-teamer at 4-1, and another one was a 4-teamer at 6.5 to 1. And yeah, I've been hot. I've been hot to start the season. I'm free rolling. I've had a couple close ones as well. Even today, I went a little wild today. I'm not gonna lie, but I had a 7-team parlay, and it looks like I'm going to hit 6 out of the 7. The Dallas Cowboys are going to absolutely trash me on that. But I had the Broncos over the Jets. That was an easy pick. That was a gimme. Colts over the Cardinals, and I know that came down to the wire. But the Colts.
You bet in money line, right? Because the
these
Jets
were all
covered.
money line. These were all money line. All money line bets here. Rams over the Ravens. That was an easy one with Lamar out and the Ravens season falling apart. Chargers over the Dolphins, and the Chargers almost found a way to blow it, but they didn't. And then I had the Packers over the Bengals, and Packers are rolling right now. I think that game's over, actually. And then I had the Lions over the Chiefs tonight and Sunday night. So that's a possible loser, I'll admit that. But, yeah, I've been really hot lately. So if you need some picks, you give me a call on Sunday morning, bro, and I'll set you up. I'm
not mushing you.
In there, no doubt.
I'm not mushing you, bro. I've been mushing
and I'll
everybody.
also listen. I'll even point anybody in the right direction that likes to wager on football. Here's where I get a lot of my info: the Green Light Pod with Chris Long. Green Light Pod with Chris Long. They do an episode that they release every Friday. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. You really got to listen to it. You got to take some time and really get into it. But man, I'm telling you. The takes that they have on these games and the things that they point out that relate to the gambling aspect of it is like us with bowling. Like it's stuff that they've played the game. They know it inside and out, and they're highlighting stuff that I would not even think about when thinking about what team to bet on. So that's where I get a lot of my info if people want to know. But all right, Rob, we are back. We are back. Bowling is back. League bowling is back. The people are going to be super hyped this week, Rob, because you know why they come here. You know why everybody comes out. Yes.
Yeah, they come out to the worst of the week, right?
No, Rob.
Oh,
No, they come out for League Report, bro. They come
Sure.
out for League Report, okay?
sure.
So your boy was back in action the last 2 weeks. Okay, and 2 weeks ago, I bowled on the long pattern, okay, which is the PBA. What is it? The PWBA something state open. I forget what state it is. Ohio might be something like that, but it's a PWBA long pattern. I used a brand new out of the box track stealth. Man, stealth mode. Man, what a ball. That ball is awesome. Love that ball. Yes, also drilled a new plastic ball, Nico. Also drilled a new Hammer Axe plastic ball. Okay, and I still proceeded to miss a couple makeables. You know that, Nico. You know that's why you come here to hear it. Okay, but your boy 2 weeks ago on the long went 227, 214, 177, 618 for 3. Okay, 618 for 3, high in the league for the night. 618. High game winner, game 1 with 227. So that was 2 weeks ago. And then last week, we were on the medium pattern, which I tend to struggle with a little bit. I don't really have the clearest or best look, but I've drilled several new balls, and just like the previous week where I was using that brand new, freshly drilled stealth mode, I decided to go with a brand new again, and that was, oh geez, what ball did I use? Now I'm having trouble.
Clever.
What? Oh, that's right. I used a Radical Outer Limits. Okay, and game one, your boy goes 243. 243 should have been even higher. I think I might have opened in the 10th frame of that game. At one point, I thought I was going 279, but I go 243 the first game on medium pattern Autobahn. And then my look kind of went away. I shot 174 the second game with a couple missed spares as well. And then the last game, I tried to switch balls and switched into the wrong ball and moved into the wrong part of the lane, and I managed to shoot 130. So I only shot 547, going 243 the first game. Pathetic effort from your boy.
Frank says, "It seemed like I don't want to be here. I only look like this when Mike's doing his league review."
I love it. So that's my league review. I got 618. I got 540 with 240 something the first game. I feel like I'm throwing it good. Just tell me where to stand and what ball to use, Hoss. And I'll.
So what did you drill? Totally.
Oh, well, first of all, I want to shout to the people that take care of me. I got to shout out.
Oh, you get a patch pirate? Are you get a hashtag?
No. I'm not even mentioning names. I'm not saying nothing. They know who they are. I know that they'll hear it whether they listen to this pod or not. So shout to the people that take care of me. What did I drill? I drilled a bunch of stuff. I drilled a Radical Limits. I drilled a Hammer Special Effect. I drilled the Stealth Mode. I drilled a Theorem Solid. I drilled an Axe Spare Ball. I drilled one more that I can't remember, a GB5.
So when you drill all these balls at once, I mean, have you went and practiced with them at all, like to see?
No. I just go out and just pick one and throw it.
Do you plan on doing that anytime soon? I mean,
yeah, I will eventually. Yeah, I will eventually.
Pretty boring.
But I don't need to, bro. I throw it good, bro.
Oh my God. You sound like one of those 230 average house bowlers who feel like you don't need to practice.
Just match me up, bro. Just tell me where to stand and what ball to throw. I'm going to whack them. Because when I'm lined up and lacked in, I'm whacking them. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. a region. I don't want to say who it is. I'm not dropping names on the podcast, but we had a sub last week on my team. Okay. The sub who bowled for us is a regional bowler, young guy. All right. He might even be like regional rookie of the year or something this year. I don't know. I'm not sure of what their status is out there. We get done bowling the first game. I shoot 240 something. He comes to me, he says, "Yo, you bowling the regional next weekend and how?" I laughed at my man. I said, "Bro, I'm a hack, bro. What are you talking? Like, I bowl 3 games a week. Like, I'm out here throwing balls I haven't even practiced with. Like, what are we talking about here?" He's like, "Oh no, man. Like, you're throwing it good. You throw it good." I'm like, "Bro, stick around a little bit. And yeah, what happened? I shot 540 going to the first game. So
trying to solicit an entry.
Yeah, I know. Trying to get another sucker in the
another
field.
entry so they take more people for the finals.
No, but seriously though, I am throwing it pretty good. I think that I figured out a key for me, big key for me, especially on the tough stuff. Huge key for me. Slow down, bro. Slow down. Throw it as slow as I possibly can. If I throw it as slow as I possibly can, I can do amazing things with the bowling ball. That's what I'm finding out. If I just stay as slow as I possibly can, I can manipulate the ball in many different ways and do it consistently. But when I get too fast, I lose control of things.
Yeah, but that's the East Coast in you. Like, that's what always the habit is.
No, man, and like, dude,
like
it's a different game.
Crazy. Like growing up in the East Coast, like
you wanted to throw it hard.
You had to.
You had to throw it hard, yeah, and you had to float it a little bit too. Like,
remember how hard Bill threw it when he was younger, and he had to slow down. Like
Stillman, I mean, these guys were throwing it Mach 5, bro.
I know.
Like, no, it's not like that anymore. Now I feel like it's slower and slower and slower, and and that's what I'm doing. I'm really just throwing it. I'm going to tell you a big reason why I was forced to do it. Because they resurfaced the approaches at the place that I'm bowling at. And the approaches were so slippery for the first few weeks that we were bowling that I had no choice but to slow down. I had to take a step and a half up on the approach and like just slow down. And all of a sudden I started throwing it like an animal. And I was like, "No, man,
it'll help your timing
I'm just going to keep throwing it this slow. I'm just going to stay this slow." And then the interesting thing to me is like, I can only do it on the more challenging stuff. I can't really do it on the house because there's so much hook built into the house stuff that if you try and slow down, the ball just goes so early. There's just too much hook. So, yeah.
There's been times when I've slowed the ball down of necessity, and all of a sudden my timing felt a lot better.
Right.
Because your swing all of a sudden kind of maybe – you can't really explain it. It just, you feel better.
I'll tell you what it feels like to me. It feels like there's no rush in my swing.
Yeah, right.
There's no rush in my swing.
It's like you have more time, right?
Yeah, like I got all the time in the world. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I can manipulate the ball much more and do what I want with it and do it much more consistently just by staying slow.
You know what that reminds me of? If anybody is very familiar with Mark Baker's coaching methods and maybe he's read his book, Mark Baker always talks about having a large flat spot. Flat spot is meaning like from your like fourth step to your slide, that really long release. You know who had a really long flat spot is Marshall Holman. If you ever watched Marshall Holman had a really long slide, and he was able to release the ball maybe a little bit earlier or later and not affect his timing because of the flat spot. When you don't have a flat spot, if you're running and your feet are fast and your feet get to the line fast, and you kind of all of a sudden, if your ball is not there yet and your feet are already at the line, all of a sudden your flat spot is like very, very small, and it gives you, that's where like you pull it or you let it go early when your feet are really rushed and your ball's not getting through at the right time. So like that's what you're saying reminds me of. Like you're slowing the ball down, and it's probably making your flat spot a little bit longer because of it, and you're able to feel like you could manipulate it and control the ball better.
Fair point.
Yeah. So if you don't know what I'm saying, I recommend buying Mark Baker's book. and reading it. I forgot the name of it, but he talks about that a lot. And when you do a one-on-one lessons with him, he always brings that up, and that's one of his like actually probably basis of a lot of what he coaches. Is the flat spot. It's kind of interesting because before I worked with him, I never heard of it. Like I knew of it, like what he's talking about. You just never knew there was an actual like official like term, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So all right. So we're good with league review.
That's my league report. That's what I got.
Cool. Yeah, let's while we were away for 2 weeks, the PBA announced their schedule for the CW, not their full schedule, but the CW schedule. So do you want me to run down just real quick the whole schedule, or do you want to go one by one, or what?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd say let's run it down and let's talk about some of them, right? Let's talk about some of the events. I would also say that, while this is just the CW schedule, I think. Am I right, Rob, that the other part of the schedule is probably going to be somewhat more predictable, right? Because it's really just the World Series of Bowling and then 1 or 2 extra events at the end of the season. So I would imagine that the World Series of Bowling is probably going to follow these events that we're going to discuss right now, and then after that would be those other 2 end of season events, end of year events. But to me, this is kind of what we were waiting for. I would still need more info. I still want to know what the prize funds are and what we're bowling for. There's still some other questions to be answered here of what this is going to look like. But in terms of the schedule itself, I feel like this is the bulk of what I was waiting for, right? When's the CW going to kick it off? What weeks are going to be on? What are those 10 weeks going to look like? Where are these events going to be? What are they going to be? Let's give the rundown.
Yeah, I would safe to assume that you're probably correct on the World Series, because I think that's what is going to be the CBS Sports part of it. And I'd imagine after the last week, I believe the last week's April 26th, the tournament champions, you'd imagine they'd probably go for like a little bit of a break maybe and then go to the World Series. I mean, that's just common sense, but you never know what CBS's TV schedule looks like either. So there could be a long break. It could go right into it. You just don't know. But February 22nd is the first start. Is to start with the major, the PBA players, which I think we talked about a few weeks or 3-4 weeks ago about the schedule. We were kind of asking for them not to lead off with a major. And what happens? The first tournament players championship, which is in Arlington, Texas, Mike. So
we get one thing we wanted here, and we get one thing we didn't. That's what I thought when I saw this.
Correct.
And the thing you already mentioned, the thing that we didn't want, which was starting with a major, but the thing that we do get, that we did want, which I think is a biggie, and I think the bowling world should be happy about this. I'll be honest. We're starting after the football season's over.
Yeah, I mean,
after the football season is over.
Remember when we talked about it, where ideal schedule would start, and that's exactly what I said. And then
it is.
Which is great.
Really, to me, it's almost the best that you could ask for. If you want to make a run at trying to get people into the sport and watching it and betting on it and regularly viewing it, okay, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah,
because also a lot of people know, and I feel this way too. I'm a football person. You are too, Rob. After that week after the Super Bowl is over, it's like, oh, man, no more football. No more football. But for us, it's always the same. It's like, there's no more football, but now I can focus on bowling, right? So I think this gives it the opportunity to draw more people into it in that manner.
You know, it reminds me of that Alonzo Mourning gif where he's on the bench and he's doing this, and then he goes,
yeah, okay,
yeah. But the one other point here I want to make is every show, all 10 of these broadcasts are going to be on the same time on Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. or Pacific, right? Which to me is ideal as well, right? I love that. Love it. And they said they were going to do it, right? But Sundays afternoon, 1 o'clock, bowling, right? For your time bowling.
Consistency.
I don't have to keep
4 o'clock.
I don't have to keep reminding my mom, my 75-year-old mom, hey, bowling is on. You need to turn it on, because that's where I was, and my dad.
Right.
And if I didn't remind them, they would yell at me, because they're like, well, we never know what time it's on. It's always on a different time. It's always on a different channel. This is easy. Hey, every Sunday for those 10 broadcasts, 4 p.m. Eastern, the same channel. Put it on your reminder. It's not going to change, which is beautiful. People like consistency. It's just why TV shows are on the same time every week, why Monday Night Football has been on the same time every week for years, why we try to stay on our show around the same time and day, right, every week. So consistency is huge for the consumer. So it starts with a major, Arlington, Texas. Then you're going to the Pete Weber Memorial in St. Peters, Missouri, March 1st.
Everybody always loves a Pete Weber tournament. Can't hate a Pete Weber tournament.
Yeah. What bowling center is that normally at? They have it usually in the same bowling center, don't they? At the Pete Weber Memorial. I don't have my numbers or my data in front of me. But so yeah, I would imagine I'd be curious though how they're running these formats. Are these going to be the same, all these CW shows, or all? Obviously, we know the major formats, right? We know the Masters format. We know the Players Championship, which is usually longer. We know the U.S. Open, but these type of like Pete Weber Memorial, the Pete Weber Missouri Classic, the PBA Illinois to Indiana, are these going to run on the same type of format, Mike? You think, or are they going to be throwing in?
Well, that's another thing I want to see. Right? What's the format? What's the prize fund? What do we bowl for? I mean, all this gives us is just the info of when these shows are going to be on and what this schedule is going to be looking like, what locations they're going to travel to, right? And all this is information I want to know, but it doesn't give us all the details for sure.
It doesn't. So you have a Pete Weber Missouri Classic March 1st. Now, here's the interesting thing I want to bring up. The third tournament of the year is already the second major at the U.S. Open. So realistically, Mike, and this is kind of like hypothetical, if EJ Tackett wins the Players and then he wins the U.S. Open, realistically, could you have a Player of the Year already won by week 3 of the tour? If someone wins 2 majors,
as unlikely as I think that is to happen, mainly because of the way the schedule is set up. Yes, you would be right, Rob. If that were to happen, then yes, that's what we would be looking at for sure. But I'll say this, and it's been this way. It's been this way on the PBA Tour for a few years now, I feel like. But man, you better come out week 1 with your A game blazing.
it's really hard to do though. Like, it's just like, how do you prepare yourself?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would love to get some top pros on and ask that, Rob. I would. That's a question I'd love to ask a Tommy Jones, a Bill O'Neill, a Chris Barnes, any top pro really, right? But whatever it is that particular person has to do, they better make sure they're doing that, because it's of the utmost importance if you want to have a successful season to kind of come out and be ready to play in these first few weeks.
Yeah, so that's March 8th, U.S. Open. That's in Indy, by the way. So you go in Texas, Missouri, Indy. So U.S. Open March 8th. And then after the U.S. Open, March 15th, they're going to the PBA Illinois Classic.
Okay.
I mean, let's be real here. Looking at these cities and states of where these shows intend, you got to, if you live in the Midwest, you are a happy person.
Yeah.
Like if you are a Ronnie Russell, you are an EJ Tackett, you are someone who lives in the Indiana, Illinois, even Michigan area, like you are thrilled. If you are somebody who lives in the West Coast or Florida, or even though they don't really have a lot of tour stops in Florida anyway, you are not so thrilled because you are literally on the road and you are not being home for a while. You live in Indiana, Illinois. What?
Far distance from home.
It is. You live in the Midwest. It's a nice, probably quick drive home. So if you miss a cut or whatever, to spend 2 or 3 days at home, which is huge if you're in the middle of a bowling tour, right? If you're at home, if you're not home for like 3-4 months, it's so hard. Like Belmonte does it. It's crazy, right? Where he just kind of will be here for months and months without being home. So it's advantage if you live in the Midwest. So that being said, US Open March 8th, then PBA Illinois Classic March 15th. That's in Decatur, Illinois. And then you go PBA Indiana Classic, right? Following week, March 22nd. And that's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So you're going literally Indianapolis, Indiana, Decatur, Illinois, back to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
Right. Then you're going to Allen Park for the Masters March 29th.
Okay.
Now you're at third major. So you're literally like, you're not even kidding. Like you got
in how many weeks?
What you mean? So Players 1, P. Weber 2, US Open 3, PBA Illinois 4, Indiana 5, and then Masters 6. 6 weeks. 3 majors and 3 regulars.
Every other week is a major. I mean, you're 6 weeks in, you're 3 majors deep.
Because the Illinois and Indiana
I know it doesn't work out that way because there's a 2-week break in between. There's 2 events in between the U.S. Open and the Masters. But, basically you have 3 majors in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Basically.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could have literally Player of the Year already figured out by week 6, right? Like, it's realistic, right? Where you're just like, oh, well, now you're just going through the motions of the rest of the tournaments. This is weird. I don't know if you see this on your end, but what do you see as April 5th on your end? Like where you're looking? Because I look. Okay, April 5th. I don't know if anybody in the chat has. I'm not getting that there's a tournament that's not officially listed yet. Some sources mention adding Ohio Classic and Columbus Finals April 5th, but I'm not sure if that's seeing that. And keep in mind, I'm using a different than I'm not on the actual like PBA website. Okay. So to be determined, I guess, unless somebody in the chat has this listed where this tournament is. April 12th. The Roth home and doubles. Mike, we're going back to Bayside.
Bayside. That's the big news on that one, right? Back to Bayside, which is a good thing, right? I mean, everybody should be happy about that. And I think the doubles event is a good event to have there. The energy in that event is high energy anyway, right? And that's what you're going to get at Bayside. But yeah, definitely happy to see that back. And I got to say, like, Portland, Maine in April. It's a nice trip up there. You might see your boy up in Bayside again for the doubles event.
I think that show specifically, in my opinion, might be the best show in regards to like energy. Just because doubles, the pros could be a little bit more energetic. And because of the way they bowl the finals, right? It's a Baker's usually, right, where you're back and forth. April 5th, Columbus, Nico's saying. So, yeah, still Columbus. So just mark that in for a Columbus show on April 5th.
Okay.
I think
it's time for the doubles.
Yeah, but I like the doubles. I like that being in Bayside. I think the show translates very well to Bayside being a doubles, just like I said, because the pros can show more energy. They don't have to throw back-to-back shots. Right. And we've brought this up before. I've heard Stu Williams bring it up when he talks about like the ideal format for TV where pros would throw 1 frame and then instead of throwing 2 back-to-back frames. I think that's what you get when you bowl doubles shows.
Yeah.
So the pros can like get more energetic and then they have a chance to kind of relax their like their energy and their like testosterone in a sense. Right. And then the last show of the 10 for CW at least would finish up with a 2-week break. You're going to Tournament Champions. You're going back to Fairlawn. You're going back to Fairlawn, Ohio for the Tournament Champions.
Okay.
So thoughts overall, though. And then you get the World. Yeah, I would imagine the World Series is going to go after this, right, in May. My guess, this is just complete speculation. There's no reasoning behind this. I would imagine the World Series is going to be the first 2 weeks of May, That's, in my opinion, what you'd probably get here. You'd probably get a week off, and then you're probably getting a 2-week, and then you're getting the whatever the World Series is going to give you this year.
Yeah, to me, there's a lot to like here, Rob. And I'll be honest, I'm usually tough to please when it comes to this kind of stuff, but there's a lot to like. The only thing I take issue with is the major to the start and the heavy majors in the front of the season, but you only have 10 weeks, so you got to put them somewhere. But there's a lot to like. Among the things that I like, we talked about all these points. The consistency of the schedule. It's every week. It's Sunday. It's 4:00. I like the fact that they're traveling around a little bit, right? The last few years have been very light on the travel. I feel like this year, I feel they're getting around a little bit more. They're bringing Bayside back, which I really like. Obviously keeping the majors intact, which I really like. As I said, there's other things that I got to see here. There's other questions that I have about what this is going to look like. But for a starter, this is pretty good. Starting after the football season's over, 10 straight weeks. These are all things that I like. So I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. Another big question that I think is still out there is, who's going to be doing these shows? Who are the announcers going to be? Who's the talent going to be on the shows? To me, that matters a lot in terms of the quality of the experience of watching these shows. What's the set going to look like? So, again, there's still some questions to be answered here. I'm not going to get on board and say, oh yeah, CW knocking it out of the park. But this is certainly a good start. Certainly a good start.
It is. Beggars can't be choosers, right? And I'm going to say that in the sense that we were on this show a while back before the CW deal. Even we were putting odds that there wouldn't have been a tour this year. Right. They were long. I think what I say at 15-1 or something like that. But look, like, you have live bowling on TV 10 weeks straight.
Yep.
You have all majors on live. You have a lot of tournaments. They didn't cut out a lot, right?
Same time every week, not up against football.
Not against football. Now, if all of a sudden we look at these prize funds and we realize that PBA Illinois Classic's paying $10,000 for first, now we're going to start having some issues. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think as long as Bolero is still, got the PBA, I still think there's going to be some money. I could see those tournaments going for their normal $25,000. I could see it speculating here. I could see them throwing in a mix of the best 4 out of 7 match play. They damn better do that because of the betting, and hopefully Bet Rivers picks up what they've been doing the last couple years. But I could see them throwing a mix of the match play. I could see them maybe throwing a type of total pin type format, maybe one of these. But I hope they really lean on the match play, Mike. I really hope they lean on the bracket for entertainment purposes, and forget the betting, but for entertainment purposes in general. Give me a best 4 out of 7 match play over a total pinfall tournament any day of the week. It's a better product. It's better entertaining. There's you don't have a couple of pros running away with it by 300-400 pins, which we know what is going to happen, right? With the gap that we have, a lot of the best compared to some of the rest of the format. I like them going back to Bayside. I like the fact that they're bringing a serious tournament back to Bayside, because the Mark Roth Holman is a serious tournament. There's titles on the line. There's money is on the line. This isn't, the PBA league. That being said, where's the PBA leagues? Dude, are they bringing that back? No, I don't see it, right? And did we hear anything about the PBA league? Is that like...
No, I think it's going to be a thing of the past.
You think they're done with it?
I think they are.
Okay. Well, when that officially happens, we'll have to have an episode of what drove the nail into the coffin, I guess. But anyway,
I guess there's a chance that they in some way bring it back to fill content. Sort of what Nico is hinting at in the chat. But it definitely doesn't seem like it's going to be a featured thing, right? No word about it. So
I don't see any PBA All-Star. I don't see any All-Star event yet. I'd imagine they'd probably make that type of announcement, right? So like this isn't a finished product by any means, right? Nico says the league could be on CBS Sports. It could be 100%. The PBA All-Star thing, they could have that on CBS Sports. I'd be interested because I think that's actually a pretty popular product for networks, Mike. I know you don't like it, and I don't like a lot of it. But if you bring they need to like bring back some of the bigger celebrity names, right? The Mookie Bettses and the Terrell Owenses and Chris Paul, maybe, right? They need to try to bring back more of that type.
Yeah, for me, one of the positives of this schedule is that there's really no nonsense. It's all serious events, title events, no all-star nonsense, no celebrity nonsense, no one-ball nonsense, no strike derby nonsense. I'm okay with this. Get rid of all the nonsense. Let's have serious competition.
I don't mind it in a sense where if it is like breaking it up in the middle of the season, right? I don't mind them having a break, an all-star break, because I think that is like every sport has that to a certain sense, right? Except maybe the NFL. But yeah, like here's a break, give the players a break for a few weeks, run the all-star event. A lot of non-bowlers kind of like that nonsense that we don't like. So yeah, I feel like there is room for it, and I'd be interested to see where the league falls in, if it is, where that falls in, and how CBS does the World Series, and where that is. Or do they say where the World Series is this year? Do we even know that?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah. So overall, though, happy with it. Bowl TV is going to be back, bringing the action, which is also great, right? So yeah, we'll look forward to the rest of it, and then put a finished product, and then we'll have to review it all again once CBS releases their TV schedule, and then all the formats come out, and then all the money comes out, and then we'll able to look at it as a whole and be like, okay, like we're good, like this is good
for sure. All right, Rob, you ready to give the people what they want?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, man. I have such a good worst of the week this week. I love this one. And multiple people sent this to me, too.
All right.
Our people are the best.
You go first, because mine is – I think you're going to really like mine. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, hold on. I have to find mine. I can't find it now. Hold on.
Okay. So I'll do mine real quick, because
Wait, hold on. I got it. All right. My worst of the week this week comes from the Motive Bowling Facebook page. Okay. The post is by Brian Miller. Congratulations, Brian. Brian Miller, Motive Facebook page. Congratulations. You won worst of the week. Congratulations. Now, in this post, he posts a letter. There's a screenshot of a letter posted in the post. Okay. I'm going to read the part of the letter that I can see anyway. Okay. It says, with the most diverse and complete single product line in the industry, and appreciate your enthusiasm for the brand. When considering staff players, we assess their ability to sell product for Motive Bowling through pro shops, competition, and social media. Additionally, we look at characters. We try to always add staff players who reflect the core values of our company. Finally, we have to consider whether we are in need of a staff player in your region. Obviously, this is not everything we consider, but there are some of the most important factors. Unfortunately, we aren't able to add you to our team at this point. I truly hope that you can continue to be a motivated bowler. Best regards, Brett Spangler, Motive Bowling Staff Manager. So you probably all realize by this point that this is a Patch Pirate rejection letter. This is a Patch Pirate rejection letter. My man posted the Patch Pirate rejection letter, and here's what he says. And here's what I'm not only giving him worst of the week for posting the Patch Pirate rejection letter. Okay, but here's what he says. Complete letdown. Brian, do you have multiple regional titles, sir? No? Okay, then it shouldn't be a complete letdown. It shouldn't be a surprise at all. Complete letdown, but I will continue to represent Motive and their quality products. Brian, No, you won't. You will continue to buy Motive and throw Motive because you want to be loyal to their brand, even though they told you they don't want you. But no, you will not represent the brand. I'm sorry. They told you you will not represent the brand. These patch pirates are tough, bro. You tell them no, and they just say, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. You tell me no, Brett Spangler, I'm going to get my Motive shirt anyway, and I'm getting my name put on it, and I'm throwing all my Motive balls, and I'm going to rep Motive anyway. Ha! What do you think about that?
I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves in the industry is when I see a bowler who is strictly and solely throwing one ball company and is very proud the fact that they only throw one bowling company, but they are not getting paid. They're not getting even free stuff out of the deal. They're not getting anything from the company to do that. Like, I think you, as a bowler, like, stop yourself from being able to throw a lot of other companies and a lot of other really good balls by doing that. Like, if you have 8 balls in your bag and that's when you're going to a tournament, or even if you're bowling 4 balls to league, like, you should have a ball from a lot of different companies. You should try everything out. And I get, like, some companies, bowlers like throwing that certain brand stuff, which is fine. I just don't understand why they're, like, so proud of it. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
This is a great question.
Oh,
great question.
Well, mine is actually from Motive too. My worst of the week
is the Motive Facebook page, the new gift that keeps on giving. It just might be
interesting.
It just might be. This is a great question too. They gave the king of the patch pirates a contract, so why shouldn't they give this guy a contract? I mean, but he said it. You know, Spangler said it in the response. It's about seed influence. It ain't about bowling. This is a wild statement. William O'Leary, are you drunk, son? You got bottles of alcohol in your avatar. Are you hitting those bottles of alcohol?
Unless he knows something nobody else knows.
Is supposed to take over Tom Clark's position soon. Didn't Russ Mills just turn like 70-something? Isn't he more closer to retirement than taking over for somebody?
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
That is an interesting comment. That's
William. If that comes into fruition, you definitely, sir, need to get with us.
Yeah, who are you? Who are you? If that comes true, I'm gonna come look you up, William O'Leary.
Yeah. Brandon in the chat says every new ball is the next greatest thing on the market, and that is a beautiful transition to my worst of the week. Okay, so my worst of the week. Guess what, Mike? This is the first time in the history of Sweep the Rack that I am giving worst of the week to the king of the Patch Pirates.
Oh, I'm excited.
So if anybody watched his ball review video 6 days ago on the new the new 78 urethane ball that Motive put out, it took me I think 2 minutes of watching the video to, 1, shut it off, and 2, give him worst of the week, because his catch or his hook for his ball review video was, is this the greatest bowling ball ever made? And then he throws a shot and he goes high flush and he turns around and he looks at the camera and says, well, it doesn't have to be the greatest bowling ball ever made, but is it the greatest bowling ball ever made that is a 78? I think you know or you could be the judge for yourself. And he points to that shot he threw. And that got me thinking, and I've been on my high horse talking about this before, and I really want to preach this again. Bowling ball review videos drive me crazy. Especially 98% of them are by bowling ball staff, Patch Pirates, people who are backed or sponsored by the company. Essentially, what you're watching in a ball review video is a sponsored ad. And I think these bowling ball review videos, they need to now have, when they're on social media, they should have a sponsored ad subtitle above their post. Because I feel like they really need to start giving people a real idea that this is a sponsored ad, because that's what it is. there's maybe only a few ball review videos out there that where the bowling ball person is doing them is a neutral, right? And I appreciate those videos more than I want to see someone who's a sponsored or a staffer. I think you get a better idea of what these balls are doing, and I still take those for a grain of salt. And it really, 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 Mike, makes me want to start doing my own ball review videos. And let me tell you, if I started my own ball review like channel, right, or just use this channel to do it, I would make a lot of bowling ball companies angry. I would, because I would be the first person to throw the bowling ball and look at and say, this stinks. Don't drill this ball. And I don't see that right now in the bowling ball review world video. I don't see that in the world. I don't see them people throwing the ball and being like, this stinks. People are so afraid of making a bowling ball company angry or doing something that is going to maybe stop them from getting free bowling balls, or that they, will claim that it's the best thing ever. They're not really giving honest reviews, and it stinks. And yeah, it makes me really want to do it myself. Unfortunately, doing these ball review videos is a lot of time. If you're not sponsored by a ball company, it's probably going to cost a ton of money to do, because you're going to have to drill all these bowling balls every 2 months. And it's just, it's not really worth it, unless all of a sudden you could start making all this money on these channels, which you won't, because the industry is so diluted with bowling ball review videos. And on top of that, all the review videos, they all look the same, Mike. All these balls look the same going down the lane. So that's it. I'm done preaching. The
pattern out there, bro. The balls ain't gonna matter. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, let's do a ball review video on U.S. Open. Let's see that. Let's put that out and throw and put it on, and don't edit it, and see what's going on, and see what's happening. All right, Mike, you ready to roll?
Bro, be a lot of nothing.
People would be like, "What is this? I picked 3 off the right. I don't want to drill this ball.
Pick 3 off the left.
3 off the left. Next shot, man. This ball's great." All right, let's wrap this up.
All right, Rob, final thoughts.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit. The bowling world lost a OG, right? A Chicoman OG last week. VOG. Glenn Allison, or as I would call him, Mr. 900, as everyone else called him, Mr. 900.
Let's talk about it.
The original 900, the 900 that the ABC and USBC should have sanctioned.
Let me use this word. Everyone be quiet for a second. Let me use this word. Disgrace. Disgrace.
Our man, Glenn Allison, bowled a 900 with a yellow dot. A Columbia 300 yellow dot.
On wood lanes.
On wood lanes.
On a second shift, I believe.
July 1st, 1982. La Habra 300 bowl. And let's put it like this. No one bowled 900 until Sonnenfeld did it in 97. He did something that nobody did until 15 years later, and it took all kinds of technology advancement for Sonnenfeld to do that with that pulse, that Pearl Pulse he did it with. So, yeah, on top of that, I read an interesting tidbit that he was one of the original founders also of the Professional Bowling Association, and also has multiple PBA titles. So the sport lost a great one. Our thoughts and condolences go out to the Allison family, and the sport lost a good one. And I would, man, if
it's
the
a
USBC,
disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace that the USBC allowed this guy to pass away without sanctioning his 900.
After now, how many 900s have been
no
thrown?
brainer. Rob, they sanctioned Mustari. They gave Mustari
twice.
legitimacy, and they're going to not give Glenn Allison legitimacy. This is a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It's awful.
Honestly, it is a scar on the face of anyone involved in the higher level decision making of bowling. There was a part of that group while Glenn Allison was ignored.
And if the USBC were to go ahead and correct their mistakes and sanction it now, I think that would be even worse. I think
now it's too late.
It's even worse. It reminds me of like the Pete Rose debacle, right? With the Hall of Fame. Like for them to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame after now that he passed is even like shines even a worse light on.
It's so much worse than that too. It's so much worse than that because all these 300s that people have bowled, all these 800s that people have bowled, they're all fake and phony. And to say that Glenn Allison doesn't deserve to have his accomplishment recognized is just, again, it's a disgrace. It flies in the face of everything that makes sense. It's just there's no explanation for it whatsoever. It's disgraceful. I can't use that word enough.
Did you know that did you know that went to litigation? This whole sanctioning 900?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I read that. It went to, I was doing a little research. There was litigation following the decision in the U.S. District Court, Central District of California, but the court upheld the ABC's decision in all respects. Okay. But what does the court know about bowling, Mike?
Right.
What does the court know about bowling? They should have brought it to the court of Sweep the Rack. They should have brought it to the bowlers, the people.
Easy case, bro. Easy case.
Boom. Sanction.
The Sweep the Rack jury would have been done in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Sanction done. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's celebrate.
100%.
I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. With all the nonsense they've sanctioned over the years to tell this guy that his accomplishment is not saying it again, I'm going to use the word again. It's a disgrace. I can't even say it enough.
Yeah. And I guess back then, another tidbit that was interesting that I was reading is that there was a decent amount of percentages of honor scores that were rejected back in the 80s. I think the stat I read was like 8% of honor scores were rejected. And you remember I remember back when I was a kid, when a 300 got thrown, the sanctioning, the ABC used to come out and they used to taper the lanes. But I mean, what were they even like looking for? Like, I never understood what they were
looking for. Illegal blocked conditions.
Which now they should run it every could you imagine?
It's every 300 since 1996, probably. I mean,
really 95% of that sanctioned
I hear you.
honor scores. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Oh, crazy.
All right, Mike. What do you got?
I wanted to use that as my final thought too, but I'll just say that Nico's in the chat. He won't let go that Nathan Bohr signed with the Evil Empire. So I mean, what is the evil? Let me say that. The Evil Empire is wowing. I'm gonna say that. I can't say too much about it. I can't talk too much about it. I gotta chill. Evil Empire, y'all are wowing over there. You need to check yourselves for a minute. I'm serious.
Imagine if we had a podcast in the 80s. No, I'll tell you when we would. Amazing if me and Mike had a podcast. If we were while we were bowling JBTs. If we had a podcast where we were bowling JBTs. I really think we would have been the most unliked people other than our friends who were close to us in the whole junior bowling like country. It would have been oh man. You think we were bad? You think we're bad now? I mean, you didn't know us back when we were 16, 17 years old. I wish we could have a video. I wish there's a video somewhere out there of us when we were that young.
We're humbled.
We're very humbled and old and wise now.
We're humbled now.
This is us taking like life hits, like taking uppercuts from life. Like we at that point we were invincible. There was nobody stopping us when we were 17. And we were good too. That's the even scarier part. We were good bowlers back then. And I love living through those years. I feel like Al Bundy talking about 4 touchdowns in one single game. It makes
all right. We got to wrap it up.
Got
to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We appreciate it. It's good to be back. Hit us up on social media.
Wednesday.
He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. I'm at the 2 on 5th. We do most of our discussion on X. Like, subscribe, etc. Help us out. It doesn't take much. Just click the button. If you're looking for some Sweep the Rack merch, you can check out InsideBowling.com. Content creators. Use the code PatchPirate, 15% off. We will very likely be back
Wednesday.
What?
We're back Wednesday.
Wednesday. That's right. Wednesday. We'll be here Wednesday, 9:00. Come join us. We'll
have some.
It'll be madness. It'll be unorganized madness, but it'll be fun. So come join us. We don't know exactly what we'll have for you, but we will have bowling entertainment for you.
I'll have as many pros as I can get on in a matter of an hour to an hour and a half.
No doubt.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some good names. I know Kyle Troop will for sure coming on. I'm going to try to get Schlemmer on. We haven't had Schlemmer on. We need to talk about the Evil Empire with Schlemmer, even though he won't like the fact that we're going to Evil Empire.
I can't be out on that. All right.
But
Wednesday night, we will see everyone. All right. So spread the word. Tune in. Rob, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Later, guys. Peace, everybody.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.